Hi! Today we draw a flower for all flower lovers. A botanical theme, a Christmas theme, a poinsettia Christmas flower. This will be fun and I show you how to draw it in a very easy way. Subscribe to my channel if you would like to get more of these videos. Hit the bell. Here you can join the waitlist to my drawing membership Animal Art Club. And now let's dive in to draw a flower this time. Here we are drawing a poinsettia, so this beautiful Christmas flower, a red one. So let's first draw in the sketch. I take here a white and then start sketching in the outlines a bit of that poinsettia blossom. Let's start here in the middle and add here 4 little dots. And then let's draw here one a little bit smaller petal here. And then another one here below. And then a little bit larger one than here, let's say towards the right. And then let's draw here another a little bit larger one upwards, leftwards. And then let's add here a larger petal behind. Here with some edges. And then let's do, so this one is here behind and it's going here together. Then let's do another one here downwards. And another one here behind. And then here above one. And let's also add here one. They're all overlapping. Maybe let's make that one a little bit larger. We can sketch them in red that we see them better. So this little one is red. This one here is also red. This one is red. This one is red. They have some little zigzag outlines. This one, and this is also a red one. And then let's add some green leaves behind here. Let's add here a green leaf, and let's draw here below a green leaf, and also here one. And also let's add here a green leaf. Okay. Yes, and then we could also take the white again and then add a bit of these middle lines on the petals, but we add them then after plotting in the color. So let's start then a bit with black in the middle and add in the middle shadow. So where we have the middle part, let's plot in here black between the petals and around these little middle dots. We also add shadow here again, around, below the petals. Here a bit black below them. And then let's take a middle red color and fill out these little petals. Let's start with the inner one, with the small one here. Make them maybe a bit lighter. Make them a bit lighter here, the inner petals, and plot in a nice base layer with a red. You can overdraw your white outlines, maybe bring in also, mix in a little bit more of an orange red here in these inner petals, and blend them with a paper stamp. So in that case it's really important that you blend here with the paper stamp, that we then can add these veins on the petals afterwards. Blend them. Let's also go over a little bit with orange here on them. Make these inner petals a little bit orangey. Here, add another layer and add a bit orange. And blend it again with the paper stamp. Then let's add a darker red for the other ones, so that we plot in here a darker red. I have here some weird lines, just overdraw them. The white outlines, you could also have done your outlines just right away with the red. Then, yes, make that a little bit darker. Then maybe that one the same. Plot in here the red. Really, if you use a reference photo, you can just take one you have at home and observe the shapes of these petals. Then let's also do that one here below and plot in here the red. So the Capucellos from Stabilo are working here well for these underpainting on the petals. They are softer. You have more pigment on the paper. I don't like them for animals, but for flowers here in that case they are really working well. Go over again with the paper stamp here and blend over it. I have left the stroke for the vein in the middle here free, just that there is a stroke left. Blend also over the black here in the middle. We will add then the white dots again. Maybe make them then darker in the middle. You might blend also over it with, and then add a bit black here and plot in a little bit black in the middle, and also here on that one that is below. The lighter ones are overlapping that. We can also bring in a little bit of a red, violet here in for the shadow. Make them here so we have here a bit shadow. This one not, this is overlapping, and blend a bit here into the petal. Just blend it here, so in the petal direction. Okay, then let's use again the dark red for our other petals here. Here it's the same. Here we could go in a bit with a darker red here first. Make them at the lower part a little bit darker. Here it is in the shadow, it is behind those overlapping ones. Make them darker, and then plot in a little bit of the other red here on the edges. And then blend it with the paper stamp. Blend over the red, violet, and over the dark red. You can also bring in right away then black here as shadow, and you see how your petals start to pop always when they are overlapping, bringing dark behind. The same let's do here on that one here on the right. Plot in a dark red, violet in for the shadow, and mix it with a bit black. And then add the dark red here. So you can easily mix and blend the colors together. Make some tips. Okay, and blend again. Blend over the black and the violet in the shadow with the paper stamp, and blend over the red. I blow away loose pastel pigment. After blending with the paper stamp, you remove a bit of the pastel pigment you have on your paper. You can also use for blending here cotton swabs. Blend over gently over the transitions here from the dark to the lighter area. And then let's do similar things here. Plot in the violet here. It's not so in the shadow because it's the light is coming here from the left. So add just a little bit of the shadow here, and then plot in here the red as underpainting on that petal. And blend over it with the paper stamp. Start blending in the shadow area here below that petal that is here above. It is a bit shadow, and blend here over the rest of our petal. Okay, and with just bringing in some simple shadows, you see your underpaintings already look here a bit three-dimensional. And then let's also do the same with the green leaves. Let's add a dark green here near the petals. I work with the Caputellos. You can use whatever brand you have. So that's totally up to you. Just take a dark green and so mix it with black and create a very dark green. Mix a very dark green or darken down here the part really with black. And then let's add a bit more of a light green here on top. Plot in a little bit of light green here. I overdraw that and mix it with the other darker green so that it is not too light. You can mix your pastel pigment so beautifully directly on the paper here and mix it with a blending stamp. So take better another one, not that with the red pigment on it, and blend over the black. Create here nice edges, blend over the green. And maybe go over once more with the lighter green here on the upper part and plot in a little bit more light green here in. And create right away some nice, so lighter and darker areas in your leaves. And then let's do the same here below. Plot in dark green near the red petals. Then bringing also the black in here. Darken down here the inner shadow. You could also take a black soft pastel stick, for example, the black Rembrandt soft pastel stick, and also go in here near the inner part with the Rembrandt stick and just show you that. Create a very deep dark black section here. This is really a deep dark black, the Rembrandt soft pastel stick, and then plot in the dark green here in the middle, and maybe add a bit of a lighter green here at the front part of the leaf and mix it a bit with the dark green. And use a paper stamp and blend over the black and the dark green here and over the middle part. Be careful with blending near the red petals and mix the light green together with the darker green here. Okay, let's do the same then here. Take the dark green. If there are these little sharp edges of your petals, be careful. Draw around them. Plot in the dark green in the middle. And add a bit black. Take the Rembrandt black right away to make it darker here below the overlapping petal. And blend, maybe also add a bit lighter green here on the left side. The light is coming here from above left. And add, blend here the Rembrandt black together with the green. And blend then also the light green here together with the dark green a bit. we add some more layers then afterwards on top. Okay, and then the same here on that area on the left. Let's also draw here with green the darker part here. Add a dark green, add a black. Plot in here a bit of the Rembrandt black. And a light green then here. Blend them with the paper stamp. So take the paper stamp and blend the black here towards the petals. And then blend the dark green a little bit more upwards, leftwards. Make it really black here near the petals. And blend then the dark green here with the light green a bit together. Okay, you can also go over with a cotton swab here. Make that soft. Blend the dark green a little bit more towards the middle. You can also use your fingers a bit for blending. Okay. And then we come to more detailed layers then. Okay, then let's bring in some details and a little veins. Let's take then an ivory pencil or a yellow. So let's take the ivory. I take the pit ivory from Faber-Castell and then draw here lighter veins on the petals. Here one, draw some downwards to the right and then also some upwards. Here some little petals. And then also add a bit of shadow with a dark red, so that we bring in a bit of shadow on the lower area of the veins, here below, and also in the middle vein here, a bit shadow on the right side, just to create a bit of that 3-dimension. Bring in a bit shadow on it and maybe also make it a bit darker here near the middle. We can also add here so a little bit of the dark red on the petal itself and a bit light red here on the upper part. I sharpen that, so for finer details it's nice when we have a sharp point. Maybe go along here the outlines once more. I make here some sharper tips. Also add here a bit more of the red. And maybe add here a little bit of a lighter color where these petals make a bit of a bow. Or plot in a little bit of the lighter red here on the upper parts. We could also use another red tone. This is so an orange red, and plot that in here a bit on the upper part. I like to bring in so different colors into the petals, even a little bit orange maybe, so brighten them up a little bit with an orange. Add here on the upper parts a little bit of orange. You could also take a black for darkening down the shadows here again in the middle, or just add a bit of a darker color here where we have used the violet. Here I also darken it down a bit and add a bit of highlight with a yellow. Maybe take here a lighter yellow or ivory, add a bit highlight on the edges here above. I also go over the middle vein once more. Add here with a lighter yellow some highlights, so you can here play a bit with some details on your petals. Maybe add here some strokes downwards. Okay, let's take a black and add also on that one here with a little pressure, a middle line, and you can also start with the shadows. I add then shadow around that petal. You can always also shape them a little bit. Go in again a bit more with a dark here, and then take a lighter pencil like here ivory and add some highlights on the left and above. Go in a bit with a dark red here on the lower part, and just add a bit of dark violet red. Then let's take ivory again and add that middle vein here below and some veins downwards and here upwards. And also go in with the black again. Here we have the dark middle area. Let's go in here with the black a little bit at the middle. And then I take better the dark red, the violet red here, and add on the lower area here, or here on the right sides a bit of the darker shadow color. Also these veins make shadow, or darken it a little bit down with a thin layer at the bottom here where they are growing out. Just swipe over gently. You can also add a bit of black or darken down the black here between the petals. Let's also bring in a little bit orangey color here on that part that stands up a little bit. And maybe go in with a darker middle red here, or add some little stains with the darker middle red here. Bring in some different colors. I also go around the edges, maybe make that here a little, so a point here. And bring in with a yellow, with a vanilla yellow, a light yellow, also some highlights in. Brighten up here the upper edge a little bit with a yellow, or sometimes some veins are a little bit broader, then you can press at the beginning a little bit more, make them a little bit thicker. Let's also do that here. That makes it a bit more interesting, the painting. Press a little bit more and reduce the pressure then. Okay, let's then also go in here with a bit of a lighter middle vein and the side veins. And let's go in with a dark again, so always bring in darks and lights and make it a bit darker here near the middle with the violet red. and add here on the right side and lower part a little bit of shadow. You can then go in with the black again to darken down the black here between our petals, or add a little bit of black here on the lower side, and go in with the yellow and add a bit of yellow, maybe also here at the left outlines. Brighten them up. You can also blend the lighter yellow a little bit into the petal. Let's also add here a bit of a lighter outline, a bit of a shine on these edges here. Okay, then let's take the black on that one here. You can either make these lines darker and start first with the black, or make them lighter with the yellows. Plot in here a bit shadow below. I also blend it here a little bit more upwards, the black, and go in with a little bit of the lighter color here too on the upper side. Yeah, bringing in the yellow. And take the violet, the darker red violet, and just add them here a little bit on the petals itself, on the lower part, to bring in here also another red. And a bit of a light red here between the veins. Maybe also a little bit of an orange. Use that with a little pressure that we create here, so some hills. The middle part is a bit lighter here in the middle. And near the veins it's darker. There we can go in a bit with a dark red color near the veins. Or mix it with the middle red and the violet red. Okay. And add, blend also over it with a paper stamp a little bit, if you would like to bring the colors here a bit more together. Blend also with the edges here a bit. Go in with the black here once more. Darken down the shadow, or you can shape your leaves a bit more, a bit differently. Maybe make it here also a little bit darker at the bottom. Swipe over a little bit with the black and plot in black and mix the black together with the reds. Okay, then let's do here above some veins. With a little pressure to create some thin veins here. And then add with an ivory highlights. The middle vein also can be a little bit thicker. And also bring in a bit of, let's say here at the edges, a lighter red in. You can also make the veins a little bit smaller or thinner and change that with the red. Yeah. Make it here a bit rounder, so you can play a bit with the shape of your petals. Plot in a little bit of the middle red. Also here a little bit downwards, I create more better color transitions. Okay, and maybe add also here a bit of a light reflection on the left edge of the petal. We can do that also here. Bring in a bit of light on the left edge of that petal. Brighten up the upper areas a little bit more here. Okay, and so more and more our poinsettia comes together. Here I also go in with ivory first and add here a vein, the middle vein. Bringing then more here to the left, to the right. And let's then also take the dark violet a bit and darken down the lower part of that petal here, make it so a little bit violet reddish, or also the middle part near the vein here, make it a bit darker. Plot in here a little bit of the darker red. We can use here the paper stamp for blending it downwards. Use the paper stamp here. Okay, and plot in a little bit of a lighter orange on top here. So a bit of a orange red, lighter red, or not orange, lighter orange red here on top. And then also a little bit orange for a bit of a brilliant shine here on top. Let it here shine a little bit. And blend it downwards. Also these lower edges we could color a little bit with orange. But blend it into the petal. Then we can take a paper stamp and blend that a bit if you would like to have more smooth transitions. Otherwise can also let it a bit painterly. And then add a bit shadow. We have here the deep dark black in the middle, but darken down the part here where the petal is under the overlapping one to add here contrast. And then also a bit here shadow below the veins with very little pressure a bit. Here. Bring in a bit of the dark. I blend it then over with the paper stamp over the black here and make it a bit more blurry. Okay, and maybe add with the yellow here, I add a bit more of that middle vein, make it a bit lighter. And here from the edge downwards add a bit of some highlights. Okay, maybe also a little bit of a lighter edge here above, and take then the black and darken down the part below that leaf or that petal on the leaf area. Here I also darken it down. Bringing again a bit shadow below these petals here. Yes, and here we can then also start with the veins. And add also with a lighter color here. Highlights. And bring in a bit orange, red I would say. Make the tips here really sharp. Bring in a bit orange, red. bit more orange, so not only the orange red, but a little bit more orange here. Bringing in the same colors as we have on the same petals like we did before. Blend the black a little bit downwards here. And also then the reds. And take the yellow, maybe add a bit more yellow veins here. Okay, and then we have here another one. Here we could also do that with the lighter yellow. Add here, so the veins. And then go in with the black. Near the middle here it can be darker, there we can make the black shadow a bit stronger. Then here at the ends a bit, use a little bit less pressure here, and here a bit more shadow than on the left. Then take the paper stamp and blend it. Blend here the black a little bit. Make sure that the shadow is close to the veins. And add a bit of the lighter red here at the lower part. Correct the shapes a little bit. Add here a bit of the red. Okay, and maybe go over then also with the orange a little bit here at the edges or at the upper part again. Bringing a little bit orange. Okay, and also a little bit of the lighter yellow. Brighten it up here a little bit. Okay, here we need a bit shadow where this one is overlapping and that one behind. There I go a bit over with the black. Make it darker, also darken down the green leaf below. And then let's do the same on the green leaf, so that we go in here also with the black and add here the veins in black. And then take a lighter green or also the yellow. So sharpen the yellow, the vanilla yellow, and add so vanilla yellow veins on top and here on the left. Maybe add also a highlight here on the upper edge. Blend it a little bit downwards into the light green area. Bringing here a bit of a lighter color. And add a bit of a highlight here on top. Okay. Then take the black again and let's do it here too. One vein and very thin black ones upwards. And go in with the yellow. And a bit of yellow here. And a bit of a highlight onto the upper part of the leaf. Okay. We could here maybe darken down the lower edge a bit of that leaf with a black or with a dark green. Blend a bit over with the paper stamp here. And then take the black pencil again and add here a vein. And a yellow for the highlights. You can also brighten up the inner parts a bit. Yes, and here it would be the same. You can either start with the light veins or add darks first. And then go in with the black. Add some black strokes here on the right and lower part. And maybe take also the yellow again and brighten up here the middle part a little bit. Make it lighter here in front and not so light towards the middle. Yes, maybe make the front tip a little bit lighter. Add here and there some highlights. Okay, and let's also, I would like to create a bit of a background here. Before that, let's add our middle white points here once more with a lighter. You can also add some of these dots here in the middle with the white. And then let's take the black Rembrandt soft pastel stick and plot in here, let's say on the right, a little bit shadow behind that petals here, behind the flower of our poinsettia, and move it so a little bit in circles and plot in a little bit of the pigment. The same let's do here. Be careful that you don't draw over your drawing. You can use the edges near the flower and then move it so a little bit in circles and make that a little bit looser and a little bit more far away. But don't use too much black. And then take also a red. I have here the Sennelier pastel stick. And also add a bit of, let's say, red. Very, very little red. And also a bit gold, or so ochre. Let's take a gold ochre. Let's have a look. What color do I choose? Maybe that one. So a yellowish, gold ochre. It's also Sennelier. And bring in here so a bit of the yellow golden ochre around our poinsettia. You can, so I have already a sandpaper, so you could leave a bit of the sandpaper, but here I plot in a little bit of that golden yellow ochre color here around. I think that looks nice. Bringing here a bit of golden color around our flower. Maybe also here above. And here. This is very soft. This Sennelier is a very soft pastel stick. Here you can then take either the finger for blending or take blending tools, the soft blending tools, so little sponges, and blend them, blow away a little bit the loose powder, You can use the edges of these blending tools to blend towards near your petals and near the leaves here. Use the edges really to blend the color towards them, but don't paint over the flower. So you can also for sure go in with a paper stamp really near your flowers, or with cotton swab, so that you go in here with a paper stamp closely to your flower, that you don't blend over it. The same here above. But with these blending tools, this works really well. You can use the corners, the edges of it, to blend the color really close to your subject. Now I have hairs from my cat on it, so use the front edge for blending here the gold towards your flower. Be careful that you don't pick up too much red, otherwise you have red here in the background, but it would not be so a problem. We will bring in also a little bit red into the background. Here we have already red. I blend first the yellow here below before I go over with another sponge over the black and red. Don't want to bring in too much other pigment here on that blending tool. I take another one that's already darker. Let's have a look. I take this one, this already has black on it, and blend then the black. You can also wash these little sponges to use them more often. Blend the black here, and then I go here so in circles over the black and also over the red, and create here so a bit of a blurry look. Don't bring in too much black here in, just a little bit. Have here a bit shadow and blend it here towards the gold. I call it gold, it's a very beautiful yellow ochre. And blend it here also, the black a little bit here around our petals. Go here towards the flower with the blending tool. Blend so in circles. Here we have red, blend that also a bit more in circles over it. You can also go over with the finger a bit, or with, when the finger is not working, with cotton swabs. Especially so near the leaves that you blend here the black towards the flower. Then let's bring in the Sennelier pastel sticks. Are really soft. I prefer for that the Rembrandts. They are not so soft. And add here so a thin layer with the red, a very thin layer, and maybe blend over it a bit with the finger. Maybe another thin layer. Don't press too much, just so scratch over the surface a bit and push the pigment a little bit into the paper to give that so a transparent red shine also here above. Just move the stick over the paper here, so very, very gently, and give it here so a bit of a red touch. Also here, just a little bit. We can also bring the a bit of red here into the black. Also here below, with very little pressure, or move it over in circles, and then blend over a bit with the finger. Just make it so a bit transparent. with a blurry background. Also this one. You could also take, for example, a pencil. Take the Cappucello and swipe over a bit, so very gently in little circles. Try to blend the colors together, or here near the petals it's always a bit risky with the sticks. There I prefer to go over with the pencils, so very loosely, and then you can bring in here so a bit of a red shine. Bring it also here so closer to our flower, and move the pencil here over, upwards and downwards with very little pressure, and just bring in here a thin layer of red. Let's do it a bit with an ivory here above too. Let's bring in here a bit of an ivory shine, very gently. Don't press too much. Here I move it upwards and downwards a bit. Very little pressure. And maybe go over with the pencil then too, with the vanilla yellow. Blend a little bit over it. Give it so a little bit of a yellowish touch. Swipe over in little circles. Don't want to have it really too smooth. Bring in a bit of the yellow, the vanilla yellow here, and create so a bit of a lighter shine here behind our flower. Maybe blend it a bit with the finger. Let's take another yellow. Let's say, what colors do we have here? This one, this is a Sennelier pastel. Also so a more ivory pastel, and I move it over here really with very little pressure. Try if I can make it a bit more chalky here. So just apply a bit of the chalk. Move it in circles. Very, very gently. Yes, and create so in the circles a little bit of this chalky look. Maybe brighten up here also the lower part a little bit with that. Don't use too much pressure. Bring in here a bit of the lighter color, and here in the edges. Just so a little bit. Not too much. Either push the pigment here so into the paper, or swipe over a little bit if you would like to make it a bit more blurry, or take a cotton swab. Move over also very gently here. You can also remove pigment if there is too much pigment on your paper. Here I also make it a bit more blurry here below. Okay, maybe take an ochre, take an ochre yellow again, and add so near the flower with a yellow ochre pencil, a little bit more yellow ochre here. Near the flower, add here a little bit of shadow. Swipe over so in little circles and plot in a bit of the yellow ochre. You could also do that here. Maybe also here over the red. Add some different colors in your background. So here below where we have the black, play a bit with the colors. Creates a nice blurry background. Here I add again a little bit of that golden ochre from the right side here, coming from the right, or here above a little bit. You can also plot in a little bit of your sticks you have. Just use the colors you have. You don't need exactly the same. You can apply a little bit of the pigment and then blend it. Use a bit of gold. Okay, yes, nice, and it comes more and more together. Maybe let's add a little bit of black. Let's take the black pencil once more, a sharp one, and go over the shadows finally, but I think it looks good so far. But I just want to make sure that the middle part here, the shadow part, is really dark. Add here a bit shadow, maybe darken down the middle parts here where the leaves, the petals are growing out. That looks always better when that is a little bit darker. Add shadow here below. Here below that it is really dark, and in the middle. Yes. Swipe over with a little pressure so that we have the shadows here in place. You can also correct some shapes a little bit by doing that. Blend a bit more. Okay. Maybe take a dark green again, and I go over the outlines of all the green leaves at the darker side once more, and maybe also with a lighter green here where we have the lighter green part. You can always correct something finally if you don't like it. Optimize. Okay, I then finally add a signature below here. Let's do it with the yellow. Okay, and this little drawing of that Christmas flower, the poinsettia, is finished. I hope you liked it. Great! Do you love to draw flowers? I like also to draw flowers. It's something different in addition to animals from time to time. So I hope you enjoyed watching and creating this drawing of the flower, the poinsettia. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel and come back tomorrow. Here you can join the waitlist to my membership Animal Art Club, and here you see the next video. Enjoy drawing, have fun, see you, bye bye!